Hey, Streamline CEOs, welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Karalee, and it's time to dive straight into today's topic. So spring is almost here, and you know what that means? It's time for a refresh. But before you start tackling all those closets or those garages, good Lord knows I have some of those to tackle myself, let's talk about something just as important, and that is spring cleaning your business operations. You can almost feel the fresh air, right? Depending on where you live, you can almost feel the fresh air. Maybe you already do. But here it is April 9th of 2025. And just like nature sheds its winter layers, we're going to look at how you can do the same for your business. So if you're like most business owners, you probably have some inefficient systems or processes. But here's the thing, small intentional changes can make a big difference in how your business functions, but also how it feels. And so think about it. When was the last time you truly looked under the hood of your business, right? You actually dug in there, right? You're growing, you're scaling, and maybe you're even added a team member or two. But with the growth, sometimes things get, messy. So like at that junk drawer in your kitchen, right? You know, the one you avoid because you're not sure what's even in there anymore. I have one of those. Totally raising my hand on the YouTube version right now if you want to go check that one out. But that's what some of your business processes might look like. Right? Like that messy junk drawer that you're just like, we're just going to we're going to keep adding things to it, but we're not going to actually organize it and see what's in there and throw away the things that no longer work. Right? So today we're going to talk about how to actually tackle that junk drawer that you would love to just ignore and bring some much needed clarity around it. So I'm going to be giving you 3 actionable steps to spring clean your business operations so that you can step into this new season feeling even lighter and more in control, which of course is always the goal. So let's get started with our spring cleaning. All right, so here are these 3 key areas that we're going to focus on. The first one is going to be decluttering your business workflows. So ask yourself, are there any redundant steps or outdated systems slowing you down? And if there is, then that's time to actually streamline those processes and those workflows, okay? So let's just get real quick. How many times have you found yourself doing the same task over and over and over again? And then also paired with that, thinking there has to be a better way. Pretty common question. I know I ask myself that all the time. So I recently worked with a client though, who was spending hours actually manually tracking leads. So by implementing a simple CRM, but we also used a lead tracker in ClickUp, she was able to save herself at least 5 hours a week. And that's a huge return on investment, right? And that's because she was able to save that time because she actually was able to not have to store it all in her brain. And she had it in a system. We could automate part of the system. We could also remember to check in and follow up with these people as well. So here's what I want you to do. And I want you to grab either a piece of paper or you can open up a digital document, whatever that looks like for you. Take a look at your daily, your weekly, and your monthly tasks. And I want you to write them down. Okay, we actually have to write them down. Our brain processes things when we write them down. And I want you to ask yourself this question when you go through each task. Okay, is this task essential? That's the first question you're going to ask. Can I automate this? Okay. Can I delegate this? And is there a simpler way to do this? Okay, it's like the 4-point check here. Is this task essential? Can I automate this? Can I delegate this? Is there a simpler way to do this? All right. And then, of course, you're going to take some action from there. But here's the quick tip. All right. When reviewing your workflows, personally, this is like my game-changing tip here. I use Loom because I already have Loom in my business, but I also have its AI feature. So Loom, along with its AI features, to record my processes. All right. And so this actually, when you create the processes in Loom, you're just recording what you're doing and you're talking. It actually takes that AI part, and it creates this visual map, right? It puts it in written directions. So it transcribes these steps that you were talking about in your visual video and puts it in written instructions, or even like that SOP. So that standard operating procedure, they are a little different. It could be step by step, or it could be an SOP format. So by seeing and reading your process, you'll be able to actually then pinpoint what feels redundant or is unnecessary, allowing for a much more efficient streamlining. So when you're rereading this, you're like, that doesn't feel right. That feels clunky. And you can actually streamline that part of the process, which is really, really cool. Another thing that you could also possibly use is Scribe. This one doesn't record the video, but it records your steps and puts it in like an SOP. There is a free version of that one as well. I think Loom with AI, there might be a free trial, but it's not a free version. All right. Not with the AI, I don't believe. Just Loom. Loom has a free version though. All right, so the second thing that I'm going to challenge you to do here in your spring cleanup of your business, right, is going to be to update that digital organization. So, of course, most of us are going to be online business owners, and so everything is digital. Doesn't mean we don't have things in our own office or anything, but I want you to clear out these old files. We're going to refresh your automations, and we're going to optimize this task management. All right, so we're going to talk to digital today in this step, right? And so in today's world, right, our businesses all completely live online. And even if you have an in-person business, you are online all the time, right? So we're going to think of your digital space as your actual office, right? Like you can see me if you're on YouTube, you can see me in my office right now. And so if your office is cluttered, if I showed you other parts of my office, not in this camera frame, there are some pieces that are cluttered and disorganized, okay? It's going to be hard to find what you need and get things done. Yes, it is. I actually just cleaned my office over the weekend. And so I was able to have a fresher mind, and it feels really good. So if you're thinking that your digital space, right, is a mess, it's kind of like your office, right? You're not alone in this, right? We all have these struggles when it comes to our digital spaces. I have a few tasks on my list that I need to do this spring as well. So many entrepreneurs struggle with this, and a little bit of organization can go a really, really long way, whether that's in your physical space or your digital space. So we're going to start by clearing out old files. Those documents you haven't opened in years. We all have them. We're going to archive them so they're not kind of more visual there. We don't need them. Or we can just delete them altogether for I'm never going to use this again. Or you can just go as far as organizing them into folders. So that way this is an old thing. We don't really need it, but it's still visible. And so next, I want you to, after you've done that, right, that could be in your Google Drive, wherever you have file storage, Dropbox, whatever. And next, I want you to then take a look at any automations. If you have automations in your business, ask yourself, are these still working as they should, right? Is it a Zap? Is it a ClickUp automation? Whatever it is, are they still working as they should, or do they need some refinement? But also asking yourself, are they still serving your business, right? Especially if you're paying for something, is it still serving your business? And so I want you to, if it's not, obviously get rid of it. But if it is, I want you to refresh them, update them, or just, like I said, if it's not serving you anymore, get rid of it. And so this last part of this digital organization is going to be task management. We cannot forget about the task management. So ask yourself this: how are you keeping track of your to-dos? Are you using a system that works for you, right? Plain and simple. If not, now here's this perfect time as we're coming into spring. And then we have summer, right? So now's the perfect time to find a task management system that works for you. So there are many amazing tools out there like Notion, there's Trello, or my favorite and my personal recommendation is ClickUp. All right. So you can find the one that works for your needs. And then I want you to start using it consistently, right? It can even just be putting your routine tasks in there and making sure that they're getting done. And so in order to see if your digital organization is good to go, I want you to ask yourself this question. If you hired a new team member today, would your digital files be easy for them to navigate, right? Are they sorted? Are they named properly? Are these automations running properly? Could you explain to them where to find things? Okay. So think of it like this. Your digital organization is the backbone of your business, period. When it's strong and healthy, everything else runs more smoothly. And you can take that and actually apply it to every part of your life. When things are strong and healthy, then things run more smoothly, right? There's less chances for hiccups because, we're taking care of things and keeping them up to date. So this third thing that I am going to recommend that you do for your spring cleaning is reconnecting with your team and clients. All right. So a quick check-in or implementing a new system can create some more efficiency and ease for you. Also, if you have shiny object syndrome, please don't just automatically go, oh, I need a new system. Only implement a new system if it truly will support your efficiency. We're going to talk about people here, right? You can tell it team and clients. Those are people. And your team and clients are absolutely the heart of your business, right? You don't have a business unless you at least have clients, right? And the team means you have more clients than you can truly support yourself. So spring cleaning isn't just about these systems and processes like I always talk about, but it's also about these relationships. And if you've been around this podcast for any amount of time, I talk about relationships with your team and your clients all the time because it's a part of your operations. And so if you have a team, right, schedule a quick check-in with them, ask them how they're doing, ask them if there's anything they need to be more efficient, and maybe they even have ideas for improving your workflows, like the workflows that you put together, right? And this is a super powerful question because it allows them to be a part of the solution, especially if they already see a solution. They're in the weeds, they're doing the work more than likely. And so they actually have ideas for improving your workflows, and always be open for that feedback. Okay. I'm absolutely open for that feedback. And you know what? They have a lot of great ideas and I love it. All right. And so we're not going to forget about our clients as well. We're going to reach out to them. We're going to ask them for feedback, because our team is one part of our business, but our clients are the other part. So asking both sets for feedback is huge. So asking your clients though, are there any areas where you as the service provider or the coach could improve on with your service or, package, whatever it looks like, right? Are there any pain points that you can address in that, right? So asking them for that feedback, creating an open dialogue is going to be huge. And it also shows that you care and genuinely want to improve upon how you serve and support them, right? Which is fantastic. All right. So again, implementing a new system can be a great way to show your team and your clients that you're committed to that efficiency and ease, because if it's efficient behind the scenes, but it's also is very easy for your clients to use as well, that's when we've hit gold. Okay. So for example, you could implement a new communication tool, right? A new project management system, or even a client portal, right? All of those things would serve you, your team, and your client, right? A new communication tool could be Slack, for example. Right now it's all centralized. It's not getting lost in email, maybe. A new project management system like ClickUp. Right now everything's in one spot, right? All the tasks, all the things. Technically, ClickUp also has a communication tool, so you can have literally all of it in one spot almost. Or you can have a client portal, right, where they have access to all of their documents, all of their conversations, all their recordings, whatever that looks like, right? All of their deliverables. So you can do that in a few different ways. I currently have Moxie. Between Moxie and ClickUp, we've got a nice little pairing there. But implementing these new tools can also can really do some really good things for your client and team relationships. All right. So remember, this last thing here for relationships is that your business is built on relationships. Okay. And so by connecting with your team first and your clients, you're not only improving the efficiency, right? You're understanding where they're at, but you're also strengthening those relationships. And that is very powerful. So there you have it. 3 very simple steps to spring clean your business operations. We're going to declutter your workflows. We're going to update your digital organization, get it all organized, right? And we're going to reconnect with your team and your clients. Okay. I know that change can be challenging, but trust me, there's these small intentional changes. They can make a big difference. Okay. It doesn't have to be massive to make an impact, but these small intentional changes, you'll feel lighter, you'll feel more in control and more ready to tackle whatever is thrown your way. Okay, as coaches and service providers, there's a lot thrown our way. You're going to feel really good and in control to tackle any of those things. And so imagine how much more productive and peaceful, okay, that's huge, productive, but also peaceful, your business will actually be after you're done with this spring cleaning phase, right? And here's a side note, if you do this every quarter, then things don't get too messy, right? So just a side note. But here, I want to hear from you, right? This is like the whole hearing from the team, hearing from the clients, hearing from my listeners. I want to hear from you. What are you going to do to spring clean in your business, right? What else do I maybe need to add to my list? That's what my thoughts are. So I want you to share your thoughts in the comments, or you can tag me on social media at The Productivity Impact. All right. And share what you are doing here from the spring cleaning. Share that you listened to this podcast and it was super helpful. And so let's inspire each other by doing this to create some more streamlined and efficient businesses, right? That is the goal, always the goal. So as always, if you need help with streamlining your operations, absolutely don't hesitate to reach out. We are here to support you on your journey here at The Productivity Impact. And that's all for today. I mean, you got some steps, you have some things, you have some lists to make, you have some things to do. So thanks for tuning in to the Streamlined CEO podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening. And don't forget to check out our bonus episodes and our behind the scenes content also on YouTube. Also, this specific episode is on YouTube. You can see my face and all my hand gestures and all the things. So until next time, keep streamlining, keep growing. And of course, we're going to keep shining because, right, it's spring.